Get both. For more information, visit bankeasternct.com, call us at 860-889-7381, or stop by any of our branch locations today. Eastern Connecticut Savings Bank with offices in Norwich, Jewett City, and Plainfield. Member FDIC. Do you, Kasasa?
Hi, my name is Dr. Katina Simmons. I'm the optometrist and the new owner of Grizzled Eye Care, formerly the office of Dr. Joel Zuckerbrand. I would like to welcome you and your family to make an appointment today for an eye exam. Even though the name has changed, we are still providing the same family-friendly eye care as Dr. Z. We are located at 8 North Main Street in Jewett City. You can also find Grizzled Eye Care on Facebook and send us a message. Don't forget that eye exams correlate to your whole body health too. It's not just new glasses and contacts. So come see me, Dr. Katina Simmons, at the all-new Grizzled Eye Care, formerly Dr. Zuckerbrand. Hope to see you soon.
Hi, I'm your local opossum. I'm nature's pest control and cleanup crew. I'm naturally immune to rabies. And I can eat up to 5,000 ticks per year. I can't catch or carry Lyme disease. And I eat insects, spiders, small rodents, and some dead stuff. So if you see me, ignore me. The following has been brought to you by Griswold Health and Safety.
We love the 80s.
Awesome radio station. I love it.
SNSN. Songs you know the words to. We love the 80s. SNSN.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome here to We Love the 80s on a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. It is Wednesday, right?
Yeah, cold. It's a cold Wednesday.
It's cold Wednesday.
Yeah.
Well, all I can tell you is it's a beautiful sunshiny day.
It is. We do have the sun.
Mm-hmm.
The big bright thing up in the skies finally.
And all I can think of is sunshiny day. Brady Bunch, right?
Yeah, no, that's not the first thing I think of, but
sunshiny day. See, that's just it. That's my mind just goes off in different directions sometimes.
No.
So like pick a subject, pick a word, do a word association.
Oh God.
And you'll give you an idea of the inner Twinkies
I
of what's
don't
going
know
on in
how
there.
your brain works. Skateboard,
knee scuff.
knee scuff.
Yeah,
the hell's a knee scuff?
Like I fall down.
Oh, like a scraped knee.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Okay. I first think of broken bones, but yeah,
well, it's kind of the same. But see, I'm kind of like, I'm all right. I'm not gonna break any. I'm just scuff mini. Try another one.
Oh, I don't know. Broccoli.
Delicious.
Yeah. Actually, I like broccoli, but
delicious.
Smothered
with butter or lemon.
I don't usually plain. Honestly, I just eat it cooked. I can't do raw. Okay. But yeah, just
boiled or steamed.
Yeah, either or.
Right?
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, if something's on it, I'll eat it, but I'm okay with it.
What a great episode for air fryer or Scott fryer.
Oh no, let's not.
Broccoli?
Let's not.
That would be air fryer.
Yes.
Absolutely air fryer.
I've never done broccoli in air fryer. It probably would be pretty good.
Oh yeah. A little bit of seasoning and
yeah.
So
all right, now I'm getting hungry.
My head is just it's swimming with a whole bunch of different stuff in my space modulator. I don't know. The reason why Kathy was saying this is because I was telling her about my TikTok live that I do at night with 80s music and stuff. And I told her that I was doing a little cosplay now, kind of switch it up. Got a long, what's the guy
wig?
The guy from Guns N' Roses.
RuPaul? No, I don't know. Axl Rose.
Axl Rose is the other one. Slash or
he was the guitarist.
Is it Slash
with the long black hair that he's?
But is it Slash?
Isn't it Slash?
Wasteland? I don't know.
I thought it was Slash.
It could be. Anyway, it's that kind of wig with like Ozzy Osbourne glasses, and I had to think of a fake band name and fake hits that we had. So I thought it's going pretty good.
I don't know. I
only did it for like 5 minutes last night. So
and how was it received?
It was goofy, but that was just the thing,
That was
it's like, Mike, that's you. No, it's not me. Are you? Hey, Mike, I don't know.
That's just weird.
I have no idea.
But it gets attention. About. Yeah. I mean, that's if you're on TikTok, that's the wackier, the better, honestly.
It's just entertainment.
Yep.
It's just entertainment. Mm-hmm. That's really it.
Yep.
And Melissa said it the other day. She goes, you just don't take yourself too serious, do you? I said, no, I don't.
No.
And she, I said, it's just fun.
Mhm.
It's just, I don't know. I think people get so wrapped up
Yeah.
in day-to-day life
Mhm.
that they forget to have fun. I
So
forgot to have fun.
It's
for
like your
quite some time.
outlet. Yep, it's an outlet.
Exactly.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know?
Well, and I think that's why people
morning,
who
Sarah.
go on to TikTok or any of the social medias and they, find yourself scroll. It's a time suck, but you find yourself scrolling, but it's because it's an outlet. It's you can
Yeah.
kind of just do nothing for a little bit, just mindless scrolling. And when you're on social media, especially TikTok, you're looking for things that are going to grab your attention, depending on, I guess, your mood, but yeah, you want things that are
And
going to,
if it doesn't grab your attention in the first 2 seconds, you're
scroll.
scrolling. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
yeah. My brother and I have like TikTok wars where we try to find the wackiest, craziest things. And then we send each other, links, or
Gotcha.
share them back and forth, and we try to like outdo each other. Like,
You
what's
have
the
to
wackiest
search
thing?
things because if you're just going up on your For You page,
Oh, our For You page is pretty wacky because of the wacky stuff that we share back and forth. So
okay, yeah, all right, all
so
right.
the algorithms have that we come across this. Sometimes the stuff he sends me, I'm almost afraid to click on it because I don't know what it could be. And then I try, we got to try to outdo each other. So
I don't even know. I mean, how I get on to, like, if you talk to people, they'll say, "Oh, you're on that side of TikTok or that side,"
yeah.
and I'm like, "There's a side."
Well,
You
yeah,
know, and-
because you'll see that like once you start interacting, I know on TikTok, once you start interacting with things or sharing it or liking it or whatever,
Yeah.
you'll find more videos, of course, like that. So like
It's the algorithm,
cats, yeah. So that's like, oh, I'm on, cat TikTok or I'm on, that side of TikTok,
I
but
know,
it's
cat talk.
cat talk, yes.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. But
I was on Upside Down Pineapple Talk,
oh no.
and I don't.
There had to be a reason.
No, you know what happened is that no. Well, all right. No, I think sometimes they send random videos,
Just to kind of see
if you like it,
Mhm.
right? And I'm like, what? And I had no idea what it was.
Really?
Swear to God, I learned this on TikTok. I'm not even kidding you.
Oh.
Because I'm watching these videos and I'm like, what is this all about the upside down pineapple crap?
Mhm.
She goes, I don't know.
Yeah, there's been times I've come across things I have to Google it. Like, I don't really know what that's referencing, but
Yeah. So now it's a joke.
oh yeah.
Now it's a joke.
Mhm.
We'll go shopping and I'll put in the pineapple upside down in her cart and I'll walk away just to see what kind of looks she gets.
God. Oh my God.
I'll go into the cooler and I'll take the pineapple juice and flip it upside down.
And then she's like, yeah, I'm not going shopping with you anymore.
No, I know. No.
Actually, I saw her at shopping the other day and she wasn't with you. So now I know why.
What day?
Actually, I think it was last night.
It may have been.
Might have been last night.
I was out doing a game.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it was last night.
I was doing a game because I didn't want to go to that meeting last night.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the game first.
Okay, let's talk about the game first. Well,
it was a good matchup.
You want to take the positive take out of it, or
yeah? Well, I mean, the realistic take out of it. I mean,
it
was a good matchup. It was 7-1 versus undefeated. Yeah.
No, London's 4-2.
Oh, I thought you said they were 7-1 yesterday.
No, Grizzled 8-0.
Okay.
So New London controlled the game from the opening tip off.
Really? So they were ready.
Ready. You know what it is? You're talking like ECC Division 1 against ECC Division 3.
Yeah.
But New London
they have some talent there.
Scott Fryer just said it. Grizzled wasn't ready to play.
Yeah.
And New London was incredibly athletic. I mean, they did some Showtime stuff.
Yeah, that's what they're. Yeah, I mean, they're kind of known for that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do. They have really good talent there. So, and I'm sure if I had been New London's coach, knowing I was going up against an undefeated team, practice for the last week would have been full court presses and things like that. They
pressed the entire game. The entire game they pressed.
Yeah.
And they have these 3 sophomores. Kevin Merchant last night, when we went, he goes the super sophomores. These kids are amazing.
On Grizzled?
No.
On New London.
On New London.
Really?
Yeah. There's just it was crazy. I mean, these 3 kids, and I was talking to Phil Orby, who's the athletic director for New London, after the game, and I was talking about his super sophomores, and he said, "Well, the point guard that we have didn't really play much tonight." And he goes, he's probably the better out of all three.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh my God.
Wow. Wow.
So Scott says, when you play a team like that, New London, you have to limit mistakes and turnovers.
Yep.
I think you do, of course, obviously, but I think the problem with that is that New London created turnovers.
Right,
They were
but
stealing
with
the ball.
defense,
I mean,
yeah, and that's yeah. It's hard to prep for a game like that when
Yeah.
you're the undefeated team going in. I mean, you kind of you have a little bit of confidence going in, but knowing that it's New London, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure they learned a few lessons from that game, and implement some things in practice, maybe moving forward.
well, get this. Let's give you an idea. New London lost last week to St. Bernard's.
Yep, I remember you saying that.
St. Bernard's is ranked 7th overall in the state.
Where'd that come from?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Not really a school that's known for basketball necessarily. I mean, they kind of come and go.
They do
right?
come and go.
Yeah.
Harold Presley, way back, that was for you, I think, really.
Hmm.
But anyway, the positive take on it, boy, Scott, get out of my head, is basically you learn from it
Yeah.
and move on.
Yeah, practice it. And that and the coaches can take what they learned from that, implement some. Maybe they got to work on some new plays or work on some of the plays that they had practiced and need to perfect them a little bit more, make them a little tighter. That sort of thing. Passing, ball handling.
New London kept them out of their rhythm the entire game.
Yeah, and it's hard once
could
you
get
start
nothing
out
going.
that way. It's hard to kind of recover from that.
Well, I mean, here's the thought process behind it is that we thought, okay, I mean, they lost to St. Bernard's. Maybe they're, just running up and down full court pressing the entire game, and maybe they'll tire out in the second half. Oh no,
not
they're stronger.
They're conditioned that
Yeah.
when you're conditioned for that, the full court presses will work pretty well for you if it's executed well.
And they did.
Yep.
They did.
Yeah.
But extremely athletic.
Yep.
Extremely athletic team.
Yep.
So
maybe Grizzled will practice, breaking those that press. I mean, there are ways, techniques you can use to break presses.
yeah, sweep
and,
the leg.
just,
I mean, yeah.
there's ways to do it.
The positive thing is that the New London coach got his 500th win.
500th win.
500th career coaching
Oh,
win.
that's
So
cool. That's good.
That was really that was good to see. So,
Yep.
and I mean, if you could take a positive out of it,
Yeah.
the coach will never forget Griswold because
He won his
500th
500th
against Griswold. So
Yep.
you'll never ever forget that. So.
And I mean, if Grizzled went in undefeated, one loss, that's nothing to be upset about. Honestly, that's still a really good record.
And Erin Polonen, who is very good with her words, and obviously the principal of Griswold High School. She, I want to read something that I think was very good and really kind of summed up what happened last night. And she goes, as much as I post about victory, it's important to recognize defeat. New London is good. They were prepared for tonight's game and executed. They were fast, aggressive, strong on the boards, and offensively solid. Griswold certainly didn't have the rhythm or get their typical or get they typically bring. And there's much to be learned from tonight. Let's take the loss with chins up, learn and grow from here.
Yep.
Heart emoji, 8-1,
Yep.
Heart emoji.
Yeah.
There we go.
And that's what you do with losses. You kind of suck it up, you take from it what you can and try to improve. I
Yep.
mean, that's kind of the purpose of loss and learning how to lose.
Yeah.
That's an important lesson too.
I think she's about the most hip principal of all time.
Mhm.
All right, so there's that.
What was the score?
100-3. I don't
No, stop.
know. Jesus, I just had it too. 74-51. But that doesn't, I'm telling you right now, that doesn't reflect the actual tempo or the style of the game. London, I think in the last quarter kind of let up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because they were just,
They knew they had it.
God. Yeah. but they were. I'll be honest, they were fun to watch.
Yeah, sounds like it was a good
They
game.
were absolutely fun to watch.
Mhm.
So
Good.
so, but I mean, sometimes you go out and you watch a game and you see things that maybe you didn't really expect.
Mhm.
And you enjoy it.
Yep.
So I was talking to a couple of the kids, in the bleachers, young kids, and they're like looking at these kids like they are NBA players.
That's so cool.
So it was cool. So anyway, Grizzle got their first loss last night. So
On to the next one.
on to the next one. So because I did not go to that, I missed a meeting last night.
You did miss a meeting last night.
So, but I did watch the live stream.
Which was nice. It was streamed, and it's I found it on the Town of Griswold Facebook page.
Mhm.
There's a YouTube link, so anyone who's interested in going back.
Were there
and
extra
watching
camera
it-
people last night, or was it all
No,
automatic?
so it looked like a little, almost like a speaker type thing with like
Yeah.
like
a PTZ camera,
okay, yeah, and it had like
handheld zoom.
okay, so yeah, and it was just up front, and that was it,
Mhm.
and it kind of did the whole like
Gotcha.
whatever they call it, fisheye or whatever it's called, but it got the whole room, and it had different, you could see the people talking. It would kind of go to where whoever was talking.
Yeah.
So the technology is there now for streaming, which is really cool to see.
Good.
So that link, I'm guessing it's on the Town of Griswold website. I haven't looked myself, but I did see it myself on the Town of Griswold Facebook page. It's a YouTube link.
Yep.
And it's about an hour long. They opened it at 6 and they cut it off right at 7 to start their regular Board of Selectmen meeting. So it's about an hour long or so.
So what was, if you could
I should have brought my
summarize?
notes with me.
Sometimes notes are
Yeah, I mean,
overrated. Then you got to just kind of go off the cuff.
Yeah. So, it started out, the selectmen discussed, kind of some of the background of where this came from, some of the history of how this had been attempted, before.
So just so you know, we're
receivership,
discussing the possible merger,
the proposed merger,
between Jewett City and Griswold,
the Town of Griswold.
the Town of Griswold, that the Board of Selectmen have brought forth. So
Yep,
just so people know what we're talking about.
Yep, they passed a resolution December 13th, I believe, during their last Board of Selectmen meeting to move forward with a proposed merger. So last night was the information meeting that the Board of Selectmen hosted for any residents who were interested, and also live streamed it.
Yep.
So there was some background given. There's from what I could tell, it seems that the town is paying for or covering the costs of some of the borough line items in the budget.
Yep.
And of course, there's some debate there. The Board of Selectmen saying some of these, costs are being covered, and
Right.
the borough saying no, they're not. So there was a spreadsheet that was handed out to everybody with line items as to what was being covered, what wasn't. Personnel, street lights,
Hydrants.
things like that. Yeah. And so, but it hadn't gone through. This was the estimation of the Board of Selectmen. It hadn't gone through finance or anything like that. It was not, it wasn't endorsed or reviewed by anyone in finance or anything like that. It was just the estimation from. And then they talked about apparently there's a Main Street corridor plan from 2011, I believe they said it was, that they feel the merger could maybe support that plan to beautify Main Street, to draw people in, that sort of thing. Didn't really go into how that would work, but just that was one of the potential pros, I guess, to
There were some
to the
things they
merger.
did, like, of course, like the streetlights.
Yep. Mhm.
That was
Yep.
one thing that they did.
Planters, I think there's some planters they mentioned, things like that. But I guess they're looking to, I don't know. I've never seen that plan, that Main Street corridor plan. So I don't know what else is in it, but, and potentially bringing troopers to the Town of Griswold, not just the borough. So those were, from what I remember, the three kind of main pros or potential, advantages to this proposed merger that the selectmen offered. So then after that, she went through that spreadsheet. She discussed how
She meaning
sorry,
Dana
the selectmen. Yep,
Yep.
the selectmen discussed how there was a sheet that listed distressed towns in Connecticut, and that we were the 7th distressed town. So needing, funds and things like that,
Yep.
and the merger would help with that. And then she also provided a spreadsheet that showed other towns that had boroughs, their mill rates, what services were provided in those towns, boroughs, that sort of thing, just does, I guess, for comparison's sake. And then it was opened up to all the residents that showed. I'd say there were probably maybe 30 or so folks in there. I mean, the room was full. The town hall room was full, which was nice to see. I mean, I would have liked to see more, but
Right.
I don't know how many people even knew about it. I saw afterwards people were like, "What merger? What are you talking about?" And so
You're gonna get that no matter what.
So, but it was nice to see. I mean, the room was full, and people, were asking questions, voicing concerns.
See, the thing is a lot of people will go into Griswold now, and that's all they look at.
Yeah, no, I
and
know.
they think that's
it.
The epicenter of the Griswold world, and it isn't.
No, I know.
But
I know.
it's lazy.
But there were, a lot of people stood up and talked. Had a lot of questions, obviously. A lot of comments, concerns, just wanting to know what the status was and, what the plan is, where the numbers came from, things like that. What's going to happen? What would happen to our utilities? That sort of thing. And then, of course, there was the debate between, well, no, the town doesn't cover this, the town does cover this, that sort of thing. So it was very obvious that there was, had been a lack of communication between the town and the borough. And that
Tim
needs to be...
Sharkey stood up and he asked Dana Bennett, why didn't you reach out to me? And now, I've said, positive things about Dana Bennett, and I've said things that I didn't think were very, very positive. None of it's personal. So if you're listening, it's not personal. I'd have a burger with you. I don't care. But I don't agree with a lot of things. Like I don't agree with the lack of communication that went here. And Tim said right out, and he said, why? He goes, it was kind of done very, very quiet, without, and she goes, we had to do it that way. I'm like, what? And I literally, because I was driving and listening to it through my Bluetooth speaker, and I'm like, what do you mean you had to do it that way? That almost sounds like a takeover.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know. I don't know why it had to be done that way. I don't know what the thought process was. I don't know what the discussions were that happened before that. I don't know. Only she would be able to answer that. But
I don't get it.
It was, I mean, I think it was a good meeting. I mean, people were open with what they felt about it. And, there was a lot of passion in there about, opinions and things like that, which is good. I think in the end, I think everyone, everyone wants what's best for the town and the borough separately and together. I mean, everybody wants the same outcome, whether that means a merger or not, I don't know. But it did end. I think it was Lori Sorter that asked at the end, so what is the status of this, the resolution that was passed on December 13th during the Board of Selectmen meeting? Is it, has it been submitted to the state? What's the current status? And the selectmen said that it had not been submitted to the state as of last night. And then they asked, well, when will it be submitted to the state? And she said, at this time, it will not be. So
why do they even have the meeting?
I think so. What it was just, it was just an initial meeting essentially. And she did allude to, the selectmen did allude to that there would be, more meetings. This was just an initial meeting to kind of get it out there, get people talking about it, see what the concerns were, what the advantages were, disadvantages, just open up discussion about it. So it sounds like, from what I got last night at the meeting, it sounds like there will be no action taken on the proposed merger right now. It sounds like the board of selectmen will have to go back and kind of, do a little bit more homework. And, I would assume we would hear more from them at some point, maybe have another meeting. I don't know.
Oh, I think they're going to have a lot of meetings
if they want to
go
pursue it
forward.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think it was very positive at all last night for the merger to take place. I don't think you had a couple of people, I don't know why the bus, we got to pay for the bus.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yep. That's fine. Yeah.
But
there were some fair points made for sure.
But then again, it's then they say, well, the town hall's in the borough. How come you don't pay taxes to the borough?
Right.
Well, we don't pay taxes.
Yeah.
What?
Town municipalities don't pay taxes. So
okay.
I that's how I understood that. But yeah, I did hear that as well. So I don't know. I would say stay tuned, stay up on what's going on, with the Board of Selectmen meetings to see if maybe they pass another resolution. They did mention that the resolution passed in December was under the wrong statute. So I don't know if they will be, pursuing another resolution under a different statute. I don't know what the plan is. Or if they're just going to stop it altogether. I have no idea. All
right. So Court, good morning, Court. Nice to, I saw you on the live stream last night.
Court was there. He was front and center.
Right
on that.
He said, attended the Board of Selectmen meeting last night to listen. In hindsight, I would have asked Richard Matters and Dana Bennett to rescind their motion and second for the resolution of a merger as it was acted under the wrong statute. It was totally apparent that the people in attendance were not in favor of this. Elected officials represent the residents, so obviously this should go away, and let's go back to working openly, collaboratively, and thoughtfully on moving Griswold forward by broadening the tax base. Well, so myself personally, and this is speaking, and I thought about this morning a lot, speaking as not somebody who does this show and tries to stir the pot a little bit, and whatever.
You don't do that at all.
I do not do that ever. Get that out of your head. But just as a taxpayer in the town of Griswold and the borough of Jewett City. So I tried to keep an open mind, so is it going to be better? Is it going to be worse? The bottom line most people, I think, are looking at is how is it going to affect me financially?
Yeah, taxes. That's a big one. Yep.
So for me, I don't care about the borough using the copying machine. I don't care about the borough having an office at town hall. I don't care about them using the fax machine. I don't care about any of that stuff. And I don't think any of the residents really care about that kind of stuff either.
Not that was discussed last night. That really didn't seem to be a point of contention with any of the audience last night.
No, but it's been brought up numerous occasions. So I'm thinking, okay, well, this is a big deal because it's brought up over and over and over again. As a taxpayer, I don't care. Personally, I like the idea where I can go to one building and I can pay borough taxes and I can pay town hall. I don't want to go all over creation.
Right. And I think that's why, from what I understand, many years ago, the borough office was separate.
Right.
And people, exactly what you said, didn't like the fact that they had to go to the borough office and then drive to the other, town hall to do taxes or, their business or whatever. So they merged into one building. they combined into one building to make it easier, and more friendly for the residents who had business, with both. So that's why they reside in the same building, from my understanding.
Which made sense.
Yeah.
For the residents, right?
Yeah.
In the residents' convenience.
Yep.
So if you ask me, which some people, I don't know why, but they do.
They know better than to, yeah.
But they ask me, like I know anything. But I think a lot of this is common sense, Kathy. I think a lot of it's common sense. I think if you want to broaden the tax base, well, then I think you need to attract business into town. I think you have to go ahead and develop certain areas. I think you have to go ahead and you have to put that infrastructure in, like previous administrations has done. Get it in there and then go to business and say, look, we can accommodate you we're open for business. That's going to affect the tax base for the town of Griswold more so than there isn't our copier.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, you bring in more business and that's going to help.
Exactly.
But then you also have, residents who, back to the age old, like not in my backyard. I like the rural setting. I want it quiet. I don't want other businesses in here. I don't want that.
Have both.
And that's the issue. Exactly. And that's where that's kind of the conundrum there, is that they want both, and then there's just no way to do that. Last night, in my opinion, it seemed like there were still so many unanswered questions, and just a lot of information that still needs to be presented to residents before they can make an informed, opinion or decision on whether the merger would be advantageous or not. There were a lot of questions last night that did not have answers. So that's why I'm thinking the Board of Selectmen are probably going back and, they have some homework to do to provide, get some of these answers and get things worked out maybe a little bit more. But I would just say stay tuned at this point. I mean, it's if it were to move forward, it's a huge undertaking. So it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of effort, a lot of meetings, a lot of, paperwork, forms, all that stuff. So it's not going to happen anytime soon if it were to happen.
It's not going to happen. And I think I've told you off microphone and everything. I've told Rich and other people. It's not going to happen. We have bigger fish to fry.
Yeah. I mean,
this is a minnow.
I would say,
why we're spending the energy on this, I have no idea.
I think the only way I think it would happen is if it's found to make sense. And right now, with the information we don't have enough information to make that decision.
So here's a couple of comments. Daryl from The Healthy Computer, School Street, Jewett City, in the borough. Sorry.
You're not sorry.
No, sorry, not sorry. So Daryl says, so if I understood, the selectmen had a spreadsheet of expenses, but didn't have any financial person to look at it to verify? ? So,
right. And somebody asked that. She stated that when she was presenting it, said these were her estimations based on, the numbers that she had, I think up till 2022 or for 2022, not 2023. And that she had gotten the opinion of finance, but it was not necessarily endorsed or, run through finance.
We don't run government on opinion.
That's what was presented.
Okay. Sarah, who's a Griswold resident and not a borough resident.
Okay.
I listened to the meeting after work last night, and my takeaway was there must be more to the proposed merger than was being discussed, because otherwise it makes, in caps, 0 sense.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of questions. It was,
and this is a Griswold resident,
right? Yeah, I mean, I think what needs to be put out there is what are the clear advantages of doing this. And those have to significantly outweigh the disadvantages to doing it.
Save money on copy paper.
Right, yeah, and that wasn't presented yet.
Peppy, good morning. He says
he was there.
Yep, he spoke a couple of times.
Yep,
at least once.
He was sitting right behind me. Yep.
There were mostly no questions answered last night. He says they listened to the questions and then moved on and took the next question.
A lot of times they did. There were no answers. Yep. And people were frustrated, rightfully so. Like, hey, we're asking these questions. Why aren't we getting answers? I'm hoping and assuming they're going back and getting answers to all of those questions.
One of the things is I don't know if it was Larry Laidley.
He had several questions also.
Or no, but specifically he was talking to Richard Matters. And asked him why did he go ahead and vote yes on this when he didn't really have all of the numbers.
Yep.
I don't know. I think that's a really good question to ask. And then he asked Todd Babbitt, and Todd just came out and said, he goes, there were too many questions. He goes, and I didn't feel it was right at the time. Kind of thing. I mean, you can go back and watch it. So I don't know Mr. Matters. I met him once, shook his hand, said, hi, nice to meet you. So I know relatives of his who I'm friends with, and so I would never say anything about the guy because I don't know him. But the question was a very, very good question to ask.
There were a lot of good questions asked, and I'm hoping we'll get answers to those. One of the other big questions, or I guess points of contention, was this NIP money. We keep hearing about the NIP money.
Yeah.
So, and I think we touched on it a little bit yesterday. 3 package stores in Griswold and Jewett City, but right, there's 2 in the town of Griswold, 1 in the borough. The NIP money comes from the sales of nips, the little nips. There was a check cut to the town for that NIP money,
which is for the cleanup.
Correct. It's earmarked for that, right? It's earmarked for cleanup. That's what it has to be used for. So the town got that check. The warden then went to the selectmen and said, hey, as the borough, we'd like to get our cut for having we have the liquor store here in the borough.
Right.
And the selectmen said, no, we're keeping it. We're going to put it toward a street sweeper. Okay. That will help clean up.
Sure.
Okay. Whatever. But in those discussions back and forth between the selectmen and the warden, there was some talk about the borough potentially having to take care of our streets. So there is state aid money that's received, and the amount of, I believe, like 77,000. Yep, thousand. That every year, that money that the borough collects for maintenance and street stuff gets given to the town, because the town then uses it for public works and maintaining roads and all of that stuff, plowing, whatever. So there was talk that, okay, well, the borough may now have to start, taking care of our own roads. Right. So the warden made a decision to keep that state aid money in case we need to take care of the borough roads. So there's a point of contention there. So the NIP money was kept by the town, and in response to that, to take care of our own streets, the board or the warden chose to keep that state aid money and not turn it over to the town, as has been done in the past, because there's a chance we may need that money to clean the streets. So there was a lot of discussion about that last night. And again, you can watch the video and hear the warden talking about that specifically.
Lori Sorta just said, minor correction. There are 4 package stores, 3 in town and 1 in the borough.
Sorry about that. Thanks.
Way to go, Kathy.
I know. Sorry.
We are so informed.
Where's that goes to show you how often I'm going to the package stores.
I know one that you did.
Yeah. Now you got me wondering where the 4th one is. Oh, I'll have to look. Okay. There's one down on 138. There's one next to Job Lot. The one here.
It's no. Oh no, I'm thinking Lisbon.
Yeah.
Lisbon
where's the other one? Where's the 4th one?
That's what 6351. Right, but I don't think that has
so
anything
that was
to do
with
another
right with the NIP money. That's another piece of it, because they have the same, because it was supposedly divvied up by zip code, but Lisbon got their own check.
All right,
so I don't know.
138, and then over by Job Lot.
Yeah.
Where's the
other 3rd one in town?
No, that's in the borough. Which
right,
is the
this one here, right on Main Street.
I'm missing one. We're both.
That's what I'm saying.
One.
I don't know where the other one is.
Again, it just goes to show.
Where is it?
Yeah. Across from Dollar General.
That's the one on 138. That's the one I'm thinking of.
No, there's one also. There's one right there.
Yeah.
There's 2 on 138.
Oh.
Island.
Oh, that's the one I was forgetting about.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the one across from Dollar General. Oh, I forgot about Island Pack. Yep. Okay, you're right.
All right.
There we go. Okay, mystery solved. Thank you. That was going to drive me nuts.
It's going to be around all package stores now. Nips on sale. Sarah says, town proposal seems to be, let's merge with Jewett City and take on $400,000 of expenses so we can keep $8,000 of NIP money. Fight me. Tell me different.
Yeah. And I mean, that was the take I think a lot of people got from that. So the 400,000 is the budget for the borough that would have to be absorbed into the town should the merger go forward. That's where that figure is coming from.
All I could see is maybe some of these package stores should advertise so we wouldn't have to sit here and strenuously guess on where they are, if they're there.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, what an idea. It's novel. Dave Polino. Hey, Dave, who doesn't have any?
Yeah, he's in Hamden.
Hamden.
I was like Hamden, and I always get them mixed up.
He says, just like every other political agenda, it's always about the money.
Always. Yep.
Let's see. Okay.
The other question that was coming up last night too was, well, how does this affect our taxes? And we really don't know because the numbers were estimates. It was mentioned at one point that they could potentially go up $50
Per resident.
yeah, per resident. But that again was an estimation. So, but that was a big concern. You know,
We'll start drinking nips, and we'll get more money.
But that was a big concern. You know, what's how does this affect my wallet? You know, and people wanted answers to that one.
There. Such a jerk.
Do I want to know?
Maybe Griswold shouldn't be such lightweights and learn how to hold their liquor like we can in the borough.
Step it up.
Okay. I haven't even read this one, but I'm going to put it up there. So we're going to have a reaction together here. See,
blind react.
That's it. Blind
Fun.
react.
All right.
Cindy
Let's
says,
do it. Cindy.
my favorite was someone asked what the main pro to the merger, and Dana said, and I quote, to work together. Work together with who? After the merger, the borough is gone. There's no one to work with. And if we're going to work together, all right, so here's the selectman office. Here's the borough office.
Yeah.
Hi, I'd like to talk to you about a merger that maybe would benefit the residents. Okay, Tim says, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Why didn't that happen?
I don't know.
It was evident that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, that's pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not just me.
I've heard that as well.
It's pissed off a lot of people. And it seems like it's very, like I said, I don't care about the copy machine. I don't care about the little rent, stuff like that. I have seen nothing that this benefits. Bigger fish to fry, kids.
Yeah.
This is not it.
Yeah. I think last night I personally
Civil War.
didn't see. Yeah. I personally didn't see a lot of support for it given the information that was presented. So I don't know what, moving forward, what other meetings will take place, if more information will be given. I don't know.
Victoria. Hey, Victoria. Hope you're feeling better. She goes, that was an interesting meeting. So no plan and no solid figures. ... Great plan.
Yeah.
Face palm emoji.
Yeah. I think there was a little bit of frustration with that as well. I think people's expectations were that there would be some, numbers that had been, vetted and, a little more finalized, not finalized, but a little more final than they were. I think people wanted some solid information and not theoretical or anything like that. They wanted solid information to make informed decisions and opinions on. And I don't think they felt like they had that.
What I want to know? Did they submit the paperwork for the grant?
For the
Heritage River. That was supposed to be last Friday. Wah, 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 wah.
They voted.
Did we hear about that?
Last week there was a meeting on that and they were going to do it. I don't know if
2 days
did.
before. It was Wednesday.
Yeah. I don't know if they did it. I don't know. They were planning to.
That's a little more. I would think that right there, they're looking for $18 million for a complete development.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. That's going to bring, I would be behind that. Let's do this.
Mhm.
It's going to bring something to town. This doesn't mean anything. This is like, it's like a little mini Civil War.
Yeah. One of the other concerns as well was, with this potential merger and the unknown, effect on taxes, we have the multi-purpose field, that's going through, taxes may go up for that. And just the economic kind of climate we're in now, things are going up, taxes are going up, car taxes, whatever, and it could potentially be a lot, all at once, to absorb on for the taxpayers. So that was a concern as well, that we got to look kind of at like the whole picture and how all these different pieces and projects kind of play into, there was concern that we'd be taxed right out of town. As one of the residents said that was their opinion.
if somebody sat down with me and said, okay, this is a good idea because, and gave me, a list of items that this was going to benefit Griswold residents as well as borough residents, I would absolutely listen.
Yeah.
But I have, I really tried to be objective through the entire process. I know I have a tendency to be a little melodramatic and
not at all.
But I really have not seen anything that makes this a worthy proposal. And if there is stuff there, why is it not being put out there?
Yeah. And I think that's what
not theoretical numbers. Why has this not gone through finance? Why call a meeting and bring people in if you got nothing to share?
Yeah.
To me, that doesn't really make a lot of sense, and it's just a waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, there was frustration. There was frustration shared, with that sentiment last night. I think people they want the information and they want to be able to make an opinion, form an opinion based on solid information. And I think there was some frustration. They didn't feel like they had that last night. So I'm hoping more to come.
Victoria says, I like the guy that asked if the town pays taxes for Jewett City.
That was Larry.
For all the town buildings in Jewett City, maybe they should.
Yeah. So
let me ask you a question. If the town doesn't pay, why should the borough? They're both municipalities.
Because I think it was mentioned, the way I understand it, was that municipalities don't pay taxes. But what the selectman's asking is that the borough pay rent, I guess, which isn't a tax. So I don't know if that's kind of how the difference. That's my take on it. I don't know if that's 100% or not.
How about this? The borough pays for the resident state troopers. If there is a call outside of the borough, resident state troopers, if they're right here, they will respond.
So, and that was brought up last night as well. And I don't know the facts to that. There was a Griswold resident that said that the resident troopers do not respond to Griswold, that they have to call Troopy Montville and have somebody from there come out. I don't know. I'm a borough resident. I don't know how that works out in town. I would hope that the resident troopers would go out if there was a serious emergency. They would, because they're closer.
And but
I don't know. I don't know the facts on that. I don't have the data on that.
Right. So does the borough bill the town for that time?
That would be a question for the warden.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And if we're going to be picayune about everything,
but I don't think we want to be. I mean, I don't think anybody wants it to be like that. I mean, that's just, who wants to work in that?
If you've got no troopers in a general area because they're assisting with another thing in Uncasville, or Norwich or whatever, there's a big thing going down. Next thing you know, there's an armed robbery going on up here. The only people that are here are the resident troopers. Do you think the resident troopers stop at the borough? Well, we're in a bubble. I'm going to go back now.
I hope not.
No, of course
I hope not. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the facts. I don't know the data for that. I don't know how many calls are outside the borough that the resident troopers go to or are called for versus Troopy coming from.
Right. But my point is there a billing? I mean, if we're going to be like this,
I think Lori Sorter would know the answer to that, or that would have to be referred to the warden.
Here's a couple of comments here. One here's from Lori. I will say that it's really disappointing that this has caused a wedge between the borough and the town. Believe it or not, comments are coming in. Believe it or not, prior to this administration, we worked cooperatively. There have been disagreements, but they were discussed and never snowballed into public outcry. Pepe, that spreadsheet was just a petty list and poor excuse to start this process. I feel and mentioned that this is all down to wanting that NIP money and the $77,000 for the street cleaning. Almost like cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Yep. There were many people, I think, there last night that had similar opinions.
Speaking to the, I think the subject we just were talking about, as far as the troopers are concerned, they will not respond to routine calls, but they will for emergency calls.
Makes sense. Okay.
Victoria, the way the resident trooper program works is if there is a serious problem, they will respond outside. Right.
That makes sense. Okay. Right. So routine call, they have to call Troopy and someone from Troopy comes from Montville or wherever it is they are. If it's a true emergency, then they respond. That makes sense.
And if my pet is really sick on a Saturday, Guess what? My vet is not here. What do you got to do? You got to go to the vet hospital. It's an emergency. What happens? Well, they bill you like 2 or 3 times more. Have you ever gone to the vet hospital?
Oh, yes. Okay. Yep. Yeah.
So you
Never
still
fun.
get billed for emergencies.
Yeah. Yeah, that would certainly be a question for Ward and Sharkey.
Let's see here.
Do we have an unknown user?
Yeah. I gotta
Click the link.
Click the link and just so you're
Stream. What is it? Stream something.
StreamYard.
StreamYard. Yeah.
It says it right on it.
Yeah, I know. People don't read it. They just gloss over it and comment. And that's fine. Or maybe they want to be anonymous.
Well, no, they're not. I mean, oh, you know what?
Can't figure it out.
I can't find this one. But anyway, we're going to go ahead. Facebook user. It would be nice if you went ahead and identified yourself.
Who are you?
If the town assumed Jewett City budget of approximately $440,000, it would equate to roughly a $500,000 increase to all taxpayers. Mill rate is 25, so take your tax bill and divide by 50 and add that to your tax bill, and that would be the increase. In other words, $5,000 divided by 50 equals 100. That's your increase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a potential $500,000 increase for
it's court.
Oh, okay. And there's a potential $500,000 increase, I believe, for the field project also that we know of right now. So, yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of pieces to this, and like I said before, I think people just want all the facts. They want all the facts. They want all the numbers, all the data. They want information, and they want to be able to kind of process it. How it affects them, how it affects, the community and make, form an opinion on it.
I'm going to put something out there, and I don't know if it would happen or not, but I would like to have a roundtable discussion that we would carry in the evening. Do a special show at night. We have a classroom here that we could use, and it would be very comfortable. Have the town on one side, have the borough on the other. Maybe Tim Sharkey and Lori Sorter on one side, and maybe Dana Bennett and Richard Matters on the other, and just talk it out.
Yeah,
and find out. But now, if I put that out there, it'd be interesting to find out who says yes and who says no.
I've already suggested a roundtable.
Mm-hmm. So maybe it should be pushed.
Yeah, I suggested that a while ago. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Well, you know what? Let's see. Mrs. Bennett, Mr. Matters, Mr. Sharkey, Mrs. Sorter. Let's have a roundtable discussion. We can do it right here at SNSN. Nobody, no questions or whatever, just conversation between the four of you. I would like to know if you would accept my invitation. Lori says already, I'm in.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If you're not in, then why? Okay, you may have a reason. I don't want to be on microphone. Okay, whatever. Let's see. From the outside looking in, the Board of Selectmen looked ridiculous. No answers, no solid figures, and no plan. Not a good view of town government. That's from Victoria. Jennifer, hey, I was wondering when you were going to pipe in. There was a lot of discussion about the grants the town and borough receive. I put out some numbers last night, and some folks asked where the numbers came from. And she just put a link from the Secretary of OPM. I don't know, what's OPM?
Policy management.
Policy management.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I don't know what the O stands for.
Office
of policy.
It lists all the municipal grants and amounts.
Yep. Yeah. So that was another concern or question was how would this affect grants that the borough currently receives? Would they lose the current ones? Would they lose future ones? Access to them? How would this proposed merger affect, qualifying for any of those?
So Cindy says, can the people demand that they stop acting like toddlers and communicate with each other like work out this petty crap?
Yeah, I mean,
I'd sign that petition.
That's
Cindy.
that was mentioned last night. I mean, I have to say the residents, they didn't hold back.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
And they shouldn't.
residents really they put it out there what their thoughts were, what their feelings were, what their opinions were, how it was handled. You know, just the whole thing. I think, you know, there was a lot of frustration all around, I think. You know,
Oh, and just so you know, the reason why I chose Richard Matters and not Todd Babbitt is because those are the two selectmen.
first and
that-
second. Is that
yes,
what you mean? Yeah. And that voted for.
Yes.
I would say the full boards on both sides.
Okay. Well, we could do that.
You know, I mean, it include the board of selectmen. They voted.
Okay.
You know, I think it'd be good to have Todd there as well, and you know, where he could explain why, maybe in more detail, why he didn't. You know, why he voted against it to begin with, yeah, and why, you know, the first and second selectmen voted for it. That's what everyone's looking for, I think, is really strong information and data as to why and what are the clear advantages.
So, folks, Board of Selectmen, borough folk, from the warden, Board of Warden and Burgesses, you can see that people are actively talking about it. Last night, they're talking in the chat room. And I'm going to tell you right now, I guffaw at the point when someone says, well, nobody's watching. Nobody. Really? Every time? How many times have you seen it? Right when you think nobody's watching, everybody's watching.
Yeah. No, and I think it's finally getting out there. You know, more and more people are talking about it, and it's getting out there more. I saw Jennifer had posted,
I'm talking
I think,
about
the link.
show.
Oh, the show. Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah.
You remember when you first started? You were like, really?
Yes. Yeah.
Rich too.
Yes.
It's like, I couldn't believe how many
Yeah.
people are.
Yeah. No, it's getting around, and the more people talk about it, you know, the better. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, talk about it, get it out there. You know, talk to your neighbors. Talk to, you know, hey, have you heard what's going on? What do you believe? You know, what do you think of this? What do you think? You know, try to get people involved. You know, the Board of Selectmen and the borough, you know, board, they're there to represent all the residents. So get talking. Contact your borough board. If you're in the borough, contact your Board of Selectmen. Let them know what you think, you know, what your questions are, what you'd want to see, how you'd want to see it, how, you know, all of it. That's what they're there for.
All right. Well, I think having a discussion, just closed room discussion that we can carry, no residents on either side, either town or borough, and just let them talk it out like they probably should have done it in the first place, and maybe an opportunity for the town to present solid numbers. Even bring Eric Christensen.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
This is why it's a good idea. This is why it's not a good idea. And let's talk about it and let people listen.
Yeah. And I'd like to see, you know, I have the spreadsheet pulled up. I'd like to see for myself, you know, there's a lot of line items here. There was talk about the, you know, street lights. You know, we pay for streetlights. No, you don't. Yes, we do. No, we don't. Well, so like, where are they? You know, let's pull out a map. Which ones are being paid for by the town? Because maybe there is an issue there that needs to be addressed. Fair, you know, and so let's, you know, it could be addressed. But I would like all of that. You know, the borough saying, no, we pay for that. Maybe there's something out there that they think is being covered and it's not being covered, and the town is covering the cost. Well, then that needs to be addressed. You know, I mean, I'd like to go line by line personally. I mean, I love data. I would work through all that. I love this kind of stuff.
You're
so
a sick woman.
I want, I like, give me the data, give me the spreadsheets, love spreadsheets. So yeah, so it's just, but, you know, I think a discussion is needed. I think some of this maybe is just confusion as to your misunderstanding of something, you know, that some of this could be rectified. There may be bigger issues that, you know, that may require, you know, town meetings and things like that, but I don't know. I'm hoping, you know, there'll be more to come. I did not stay for the Board of Selectmen meeting last night, so I don't know. I quickly looked at the agenda, but I didn't see that there would be anything more discussed about that. about the proposed merger for the Board of Selectmen meeting last night.
Mhm.
But I would imagine we're going to hear more. So I would just encourage people to try to stay on top of it, stay on top of the agendas and the meetings for the boards, for both boards, and check the website often, that sort of
You know
thing.
what I'm going to put out there too is like, if I'm going to set a date, or give a range of dates, and if the town says no and the borough says yes, well, then I'll give that time to the borough.
Yeah, I don't,
or vice versa. No,
Yeah.
no. If you don't want to make it, why?
Well, the other thing I was
Why
thinking of,
don't you
I don't
wanna
know
come?
if the attorney. Yeah, no, I'm not questioning
Bring the
that.
town attorney.
But that's what I was. Yeah, I would imagine they would have to probably
big
have
room.
it. Yeah, but just coordination, schedules, that sort of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, that would be up to the boards.
Peggy says, who doesn't even live in this state,
Yep.
says voting isn't your only means of communication with elected officials.
Yeah.
And it's
Very
that's
true. Mm-hmm.
Sarah says the spreadsheet is so ridiculous. We aren't going to save 5% on salaries because of this proposed merger, unless we cut salaries 5% after a merger.
Yeah, and that was discussed last night. That was a question. Somebody said, okay, so with the 5%, does that mean we're saving 5%? We'll have 5% more if the merger happens. And no, of course, that's not the case.
All right. Well, again, we put it out there, hopefully maybe, we can put something together, and even have a moderator in between the two. We can do all that. I have people that can and will do that, bring it in, and moderate.
I would send them all an email with an invite.
I'm going to today.
Let's see what comes of it.
So I know you have a meeting that you got to get to.
I do. I
so-
actually have a job.
Yeah. No, you don't.
I have to get to work. Actually, I have a meeting with my boss coming up, so I need to.
Oh, just go ahead. Call him. I'll wait.
Yeah, right. Just feel like, oh, sorry, I was on the radio. My bad.
So anyway, no disrespect, just so you know, to either the town or the borough on any of this, or any of the people that are a part of these boards. And like you're on the board of Warden and Burgesses.
I am.
So
speaking only on behalf of myself here.
Exactly. And me too. I'm not on any board anymore. Where that one happened. But I give you a lot of leeway to do what you do here.
Thank you.
So
jerk.
Inside joke. But anyway, no disrespect. We would love to have you guys come in and go ahead and talk it out. Why can't we just get along? I mean, we got to worry about people like Lisbon coming in trying to take over. You know what I mean? Sparkman's always trying to throw curveballs at us.
I heard they're putting on a Burger King. They doing a Burger King?
I've heard that too, but to me, it's just a rumor.
Okay.
Let's see. Well, comments again. I gotta get them.
Yeah, get them in.
This is my personal view, and this is Jen, and not related to any position I hold. But I don't understand why we are paying attorneys for all of this. We are paying for this. Seems like it's not. We are not being good stewards of the tax money.
That's been a concern as well.
And then Cindy sings the famous Meatloaf song. You took the words right out of my mouth. Right. So anyway, thank you very much for coming in today again. Jesus, I have to cut you a check. Take it out of the borough funds. Anyway. Hopefully something will come out.
Yeah.
So.
Stay tuned. More to come, and just stay on top of things. Keep talking.
Got it. All right. Share this live with other people, and because maybe they were not here, or, they weren't here, or they were working, or maybe this would be of interest to them. So after we close down shop, you'll be able to share it with whoever you would like, but it would be a good idea just for the fact to get more information out there. And I don't think it's biased at all.
No.
We're going back and forth, and that'd be good. So
do you want to mention one more thing?
Go
the
ahead.
Documents that were handed out last night are available. There's a link for that spreadsheet that people are referring to. All of that is on the, I found it on the Facebook page, on the Town of Grizzle Facebook page. There's a link for the meeting last night. And there's a link also to the documents that they're referencing. It has the distressed cities, the expense spreadsheet, that sort of thing to refer to. So if you're wondering where that is,
it's there. And information is always there. People sometimes just don't know where to find it.
Right. Yeah. It may be in other places too. That's just where I found it.
like a scavenger hunt sometime.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow once again right here on SNSN. Thank you very much, everybody, for participating. Your participation in the show is key because the show really is for you. It's not for me. And that's it. So see you tomorrow. Have a good day.
Life's been tough, and it's even tougher than ever to find a good therapist. But these days, all you hear is, sorry, we aren't accepting new patients. Next time, reach out to Life's Journey Counseling Services. They're located on Main Street, right in the middle of Jewett City, and they are accepting new patients right now. Individual, couples, family, and